Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. First tonight, as businesses face uncertainty about Tasmania's border reopening plan, parents are in limbo too. The Premier telling State Parliament first term could be delayed if children under the age of 11 can't access the COVID vaccine.
Cooking up a storm at one of Hobart's newest culinary delights. 12 positions are up for grabs at Pepina Restaurant ahead of a busy summer season.
I might live here instead of my office.
That's fine. We've just got to keep on that momentum. We've got to stay positive. I think it's really important time to encourage people to come into the industry, not discourage. And we're busy. We've got jobs, so let's crack on.
A mass exodus of staff during the pandemic left some businesses in the dark, many now wondering what to expect when the border reopens next month.
On Friday, the Premier will outline the support the government will provide so that we are partnering with businesses so that they can have access to that information.
As the focus turns to getting children aged 5 to 11 vaccinated, the Premier has flagged a potential delay to the start of the school year.
If children in Tasmania can't access a vaccination before the school term resumes next year, then what is the government's plan?
They will become infected and they will circulate the virus.
One expert says current trials in 12 to 15-year-olds are showing positive signs.
They look like they will be safe and effective vaccines. We really should wait for the data, though, before we look at those younger age groups.
Now, the University of Tasmania will make the decision about whether or not to mandate COVID vaccinations for all staff and students across its campuses from next year. To date, more than 85% of Tasmanians are fully vaccinated. Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmania News.
The Bob Brown Foundation is ramping up its campaign against the salmon industry after the Lower House today passed a bill to explore further marine research in Commonwealth waters.
And we need to stop these very greedy corporations coming in and effectively mining the marine environment for mega profits to go offshore.
The state government says it supports research projects that are for a fixed term and of limited scale to protect the environment. Around 50 North West Coast families with autistic children who use an early intervention service will no longer be able to access childcare at the centre from early next year. St Giles has operated the Burnie facility since 2015, but federal funding has dried up, making it unviable to provide full daycare.
Sheldon Williams' son James, who has autism, has been attending this childcare centre since the start of the year.
It's been wonderful. There's nothing else that really could have helped him with what he needed other than this place here, from what I've discovered.
She was shocked when we broke the news to her that childcare services at the facility would cease at the end of January.
Now to hear that this one's going to be gone is unreal, because it's the best one that we've had, and it's just going to be really sad. There's nothing else available up here, so we have nothing now.
Disability advocates say many families will suffer.
This is where it's more than just an early intervention centre. It's a childcare centre that no longer exists in a system that doesn't welcome kids with disabilities. There are long waiting lists for diagnosis, and this childcare centre dealt with kids whether they had a diagnosis or not. So it's a really critical loss for the North West Coast.
The federal government set up the centre in 2010 and it was operated by Burnie City Council until St Giles took over in 2015. It's one of 6 around the country and the only one in Tasmania.
But the idea always was that services like this would become more linked into the NDIS, and what we've discovered is that the capacity to actually balance childcare and the therapy services is really difficult.
The organisation maintains therapy programs will continue to be delivered at the existing centre.
We're not closing, but that we're transitioning to a new service, and that service will be group therapy based.
As for staff, St Giles says all will be retained.
And we're certainly very confident that each and every staff member that currently works with us, that there's an opportunity for them to move forward, either working with us with mainstream childcare centres, or taking their skills and expertise and working with us here as allied health assistants.
The childcare services will end on January 28. Letitia Wallace, 7 Tasmania News.
Cricket Tasmania has hit out at the national body, going in to bat for shamed former Test captain Tim Payne in an extraordinary attack. Describing his treatment as appalling, Cricket Tasmania says Payne should never have been pressured to resign.
As Tim Payne was shielded in the second 11, the off-field storm stepped up. A united but angry Cricket Tasmania lashing out at the national body, calling its treatment of the former Test captain appalling. At a time when Cricket Australia should have supported Tim, the strongly worded statement reads, he was evidently regarded as dispensable. Adding, the Cricket Tasmania board reaffirmed its view that Payne should not have been put in a position where he felt the need to resign. He had, following bombshell revelations of sexting between Payne and a Cricket Tasmania employee came to light.
It's been dealt with, it's just resurfacing our wounds, isn't it, on the family? So, yeah, it's a bit tough, I think, and running his name through the mud.
I think he's been very honest and been, with integrity has come through because he's been upfront about it.
Cricket Tasmania went as far to say Payne's treatment is the worst since Bill Laurie was sacked as captain more than 50 years ago. Laurie was let go in the middle of an Ashes series and only heard he'd lost the job on the radio. One parent sympathises with the timing of the scandal surfacing.
Big Ashes is coming out and it's a big bombshell.
But questions whether Payne remains a role model for the next generation.
You know, he has got children, he has got his family.
The war of words potentially strikes a dagger through the state's hopes of pinching Perth's Ashes test. When it came to that topic, Cricket Tasmania took a more gentle approach to the national body. But today's response has been nothing short of defiant. He took on the captaincy as Cricket Australia's saviour.
The reality and the enormity of what's happened is probably starting to sink in.
Now, perhaps, a pariah, but not in the eyes of Cricket Tasmania. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania has a record number of magistrates, with the government now on the hunt for 2 permanent full-time positions. The Attorney-General says these appointments will mean Tasmania will have 17 full-time magistrates. It's hoped it will help reduce the backlog of cases and improve the state's justice system. Tasmanian Senator Jackie Lambie has been forced to change her private phone number, accusing a One Nation senator of intentionally leaking it after her blistering attack on the party in the Senate yesterday. She says she's been subjected to a torrent of abuse on social media as well as on her personal phone. With just a little over a month until Christmas, local businesses are feeling the cheer as Tasmanians gear up for the festive season. Embattled hospitality venues are getting a boost from function bookings, while shoppers have rushed out to grab the latest toys.
At the Design Inn, it's the most wonderful time of the year, all year round.
It starts in August, so people are coming in and lay-buying their Christmas trees.
The Christmas rush is coming to a head, and they're down to limited floor stock of Christmas trees, lanterns and singing Santas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas.
For the children, of course, they love all the snowmen.
The silly season is well and truly kicking off, and Christmas parties are filling the books of restaurants and function centres.
It has been getting progressively busier with those forward bookings. We're well over 250 bookings in December already.
Helping businesses endure the final stretch before borders open.
Those end-of-year corporate celebrations, those private parties are really starting to bring people out, and we really enjoy seeing a very full restaurant.
But for those in charge of finding fresh food for the festive season, there's good news. Rock lobsters are still selling at rock bottom prices.
We're getting our first load tomorrow, so the season's just started, the commercial season.
Last Christmas, Peter and Una Seafood sold 900 crays. They're hoping to do that again, along with 2.5 tonnes of prawns, bracing for some very long days behind the counter.
24th last year, we had about 490 pre-orders.
Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
A major Australian rock band has been pencilled in for the Mona Foma Festival next year. Midnight Oil is the first act announced as part of the summer lineup. The legendary group will perform across 2 nights in both Launceston and Hobart in January. The band says they are delighted to be part of the event and are eager to showcase songs from their soon-to-be-released album. Tickets will go on sale in the coming weeks. Judges from across the state have put their palates on the line as day one of tasting kicked off at the Royal Hobart Wine Show. But a new addition is transcending tradition, with the event the first in Australia to recognise a new no to low alcohol category.
Hunting for the perfect combination of colour, smell and taste. These are the three elements needed to get a wine over the award-winning line.
If they meet the criteria, they're fresh, they're vibrant and they have all those lovely things, then that will get rewarded.
We're looking for wines that are, I guess, show the best characteristics of the variety, of the vintage and of that particular region.
After a scaled-back operation last year, the Hobart Wine Show has returned in all its glory as day one of tasting got underway.
We have 1,100 entries that have been put in to our wine show for about 42 different classes.
While most of the panel are familiar with the categories, new no and low alcohol entries are paving their way, with Hobart the first national show to take them on board.
We seem to have this surgence in health and well-being and a lot of things like that. So the no alcohol, low alcohol industry in our wine industry is really taking off.
It's being supported by people who work in the alcohol awareness space.
I just think it's wonderful to see people having a really good think about their relationship with alcohol. It is such a big part of our culture and how we live, but it's not suitable for everybody.
For the first time since the event's inception, an all-Tasmanian judging panel will decide on the award-winning wines over the next 3 days, with 14 major trophies up for grabs.
The attraction of many people wanting to move here to make wine, we've now got a really good pool of local judges, many of whom, as I say, will happily walk into judging roles anywhere around the country.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
A national competition has found a meal of fish and chips is the best to eat after getting dumped, and chicken schnitzel the top cuisine ordered while watching award shows. Also in the Menu Logies competition run by food delivery service Menulog, Tasmania's hungriest fast food lovers named their state's top takeaway spots. Lonnie's Kebab House in Kings Meadows taking out first place for its wraps and falafel.
The Tim Payne situation is becoming messier by the day for Cricket Australia. As we reported earlier, Cricket Tasmania slammed the national body for its treatment of Payne, and national selector George Bailey says he's too close to Payne to decide if he should play the first test. Bailey defended his longtime friend.
This quest for perfection and our ability to jump on people who make a mistake and not to embrace that we're all human and that we all have flaws.
Payne was LBW for 1 in his comeback from neck surgery for the Tasmania second 11. In the Sheffield Shield, a batting collapse this morning has Tasmania facing an uphill battle against Western Australia at Blunston Arena. The Tigers losing 8 for 107 after starting the day at 2 for 210, with the Warriors on track to post a large target on the final day.
After a positive start yesterday, Tasmania was looking to continue piling on the runs. Just a few overs into day 3, however, they were on the back foot.
McDermott flirts with it. Big shout, he's gone, an edge!
A batting collapse followed. Wade came out for 16 to a ball that leapt up on him. Doran then departed for a duck, followed by Brad Hope for just 6.
Up the hill and he's caught. First ball of the spell from Kelly. That's Brad Hope's debut innings for Tasmania over and done with.
Tasmania had suddenly lost 4 for 15. Jordan Silk called upon to lead the fight back and put pressure on the Warriors. His important half-century, including 13 fours and a 6.
Silk short, swats that ball. 4 to mid-wicket for 4. It's a 6.
But he lost another 3 partners, including veteran Peter Siddle, in quick succession. Silk's departure on 73 ending Tasmania's innings, 88 runs behind Western Australia. Former Test opener Cameron Bancroft keen to extend that advantage.
Wide of the crease, and Bancroft tucks it very neatly behind square. I'll tell you what, this outfield's lightning.
Combining with Jaden Goodwin for a 69-run opening stand. Jared Freeman breaking the partnership, also removing Dangerman Bancroft as well. Siddle also snagging a wicket, claiming Sam Whiteman for 13. Cameron Green and Hilton Cartwright steadying the ship as the visitors' lead grew beyond 200. Western Australia cruising towards a hefty lead. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Now, someone in the news for all the right reasons, Burnie's Taran Armstrong. He's been named Freshman of the Week for the second week in a row in the Western Athletic Conference. It follows a season-high 19 points for California Baptist University, including this classy play.
Taran Armstrong around the screen of Akin, drives inside, gets John Cooch in the air, lays it in. A little bit of patience and hesitation from Taran Armstrong.
It turned the game. Armstrong's side went on to beat Northern Colorado by 4 points.
Good evening. Hobart and Launceston 24 degrees today, Burnie 19 and Devonport 21. The warmest population centre was Strawn with 26 degrees, lovely in the west. Temperatures over there up to 9 degrees above average. Bushy Park 25, Grove and Campania 24, Friendly Beaches 23 today. The Bass Strait Islands both 22 and St Helens reached 20. An upper atmosphere feature had cloud streaming across our region as lower cloud developed over the northeast and central parts later on. Convective activity and onshore winds brought the cloud to the mainland today. Western Australia mostly clear as that cloud moved over central parts. Synoptic situation for tomorrow, plenty of troughs and low pressure zones over the mainland. We're stuck between two high pressure systems with a trough just to our north. We'll have winds tending north-northeasterly up to 20 knots over the east. They'll swing west-northwest over southern waters later. Hobart, a high of 22 with a shower or two. Increasing over Geeveston, 22 the top as well. 24 for Bothwell, warm but a shower or two. 25 for Launceston, a cloudy day. Possible shower for Devonport. 24 the top for Cressy. For Burnie tomorrow, a shower or two and 20. Shower also for Strawn, 21 and 20 the high for Curry. On King Island, 22 the top for St Helens, a cloudy day. Partly cloudy for Swansea. A shower creeping in over Orford, 21 the maximum. There's the UV forecast peaking at 9 and very high tomorrow. On Thursday, showers for most, increasing over the north. A fine cloudy but windy day on Friday, slight chance of another shower over the north. And on Saturday, a fine partly cloudy day, winds tending east-southeasterly. A sunny 29 in Perth tomorrow. And looking at the North Island, nearly all the centres on the map there expect showers. A humid day in Melbourne and a storm brewing for Darwin. And current conditions around Tasmania, all mostly cloudy. And Kinder Bureau today have announced that La Nina is back. That means the waters in the eastern Pacific have cooled. The waters over our region in the western Pacific have warmed. We'll have stronger trade winds, propensity for higher rainfall over the eastern parts of Australia and particularly the north, more tropical cyclones and severe storms. And what that means for Tasmania is, I'm not too sure about that yet.
It means it's going to be wet, Murph. Thank you very much. Good night to you. And good night to you at home. Thanks for joining us. See you later.